So let me guess. You've been struggling with your habits. You've been struggling to get up in the morning. You've been struggling to read the pages that you so often try to read. You've been struggling to meditate and put into practice those actions. You've been struggling to open your blinds every day. You've been struggling to work out. You've been struggling to go do any of the things that you tell yourself you're going to do. Let me tell you, I've been doing the same things as you. Me and you are the exact same. On this channel, I haven't uploaded in 2 weeks. Earlier this year, I said that I was going to upload weekly. But what happened? I stopped for 2 weeks. And there was no good reason why I stopped for 2 weeks. I have videos planned. But, I was just sitting in my room, just like, I don't feel like recording, and little things like that. On this channel, I preached discipline. Oh, I got a little something in my nose today. Ew. Discipline on this channel. I preached getting things done on this channel. Yet, I'm going against what I said. So I feel like a fraud. In this video, it's going to be a pretty short one. I'm going to give you guys 3 pieces of advice that I want you to actively involve into your life. And they're very, very simple. It's not stuff you haven't heard before. I just want to reiterate and repeat it for people who don't know and for people who do. So there's 3 ways to improve your habits. Number 1, aim low. What do I mean by aim low? What do you think? Really just sit here for a second and envision you doing what you're doing every day. You may say, oh, I'll have to give myself 50 pages to read. Oh, I have to work out for an hour straight every single day. What's the issue with that? You are a beginner and you are a noob. You are base level. You're not at the high tiers anymore. Maybe you're someone like me who used to be at the high tiers, used to be able to do a little bit more, and now you're trying to build your way back up. You're not just going to jump into a situation and you're going to do, read just 50 pages out of nowhere, or you're not just going to work out for an hour. That's just not how stuff works. You're going to have to start low again. It hurts your ego, but trust, the things that hurt your ego are the things that are going to build you the most. There's no doubt about that. So let's put this into practice right quick. Let's say that your goal is to work out for an hour. Well, let me use something more specific. You want to run a mile. And you look at it and you're like, damn, I can't really do this. I'm really slow when I'm running. How about instead of saying you got to run a mile today, say that's your long-term goal to run a mile. Let's say like in a month you think you can run a mile. I feel like that's doable for most people. They really put in practice. So you can start off by saying, okay, you map it out, you do your little thing, you track it, and you say, okay, I'm going to do 0.25 of a mile today. And you stay consistent for this week. Next week you say, okay, I'm going to up it to 0.5 of a mile straight. Okay, the week after that, 0.75. And now you're probably going to hit the mile. Even if you struggle and you get to claw through it, you're probably going to hit it. And it's going to be more sustainable over the long term. The thing I have an issue with is that I've realized the importance of consistency. If you cannot do it over a long period of time, there's no point in you doing it anyways. There's no point. If you can't do something over the long term, there's no point in doing it in the first place. And the reason is because if you can't keep it consistent, and that's the thing you're trying to do, that's how you win, you won't be able. Number 2, the other habit tip I'm going to give you guys is to daisy chain habits. Basically, in Atomic Habits, if you guys ever read that book, the book talks about the idea of attaching habits to pre-existing habits. I see a lot of people try to create new habits out of thin air, and they say like in the middle of the day I have to do this thing, such and such, and whatever, and most of the time it never happens. The way I would do it is to try to daisy chain any new habits to things that are already in your day-to-day life. Specifically, I would work to incorporate things into your morning and nightly routines. What do I mean by that? So when I say that your nightly routine and your morning routine, it's like, say you get up, the first thing you do is, you get a cup of water and you have to take some supplements. You're trying to take some multivitamins, whatever. Don't go into the science of it. Just bear with me here. You go take the multivitamins. Instead of saying like, oh yeah, I'm going to take my multivitamins when, I get home from school or I get home from work or whatever, sure, it may work, but like you could just daisy chain that to the time in the morning time. When you're drinking the water, you could just leave it there and you can see it. And just like I said there, if you place the supplements where you can see them within the part where you daisy chain them to them, then you'll be able to actually achieve the goal of taking the supplement more. Give another example. When you are, say for example, let's say working out. I've heard people who just say they just leave their pre-workout in the car and they take it when they get to the gym. That's another example. You just you daisy chain and you add the habits to it. 3. The third piece of advice I would give you guys for habits would be to not have more than 3 to 5 habits you are trying to implement on a day-to-day basis. Why? Primarily because this is relative to me. I cannot control more than 3 to 5 habits at a time if I'm ever trying to incorporate them into my life. And I think this is for everyone, because when you're trying to manage so many habits, you're trying to read, you're trying to make sure you go to the gym, you're trying to make sure you meditate, you're trying to make sure you do some yoga nidra, you're trying to, make sure you clean, that you do your chores every day. Like, yeah, you could, if you're really, really disciplined, by all means, go do that. I'm not telling you what you shouldn't do. You can try it for yourself and figure it out. That's probably the best piece of advice I can give you there. Try it out for yourself and see. But for most people, I think we should stay in the range of about 3 to 5 habits at a time. So let me go back over the 3 habits. Okay, number 1, aiming low. Just aim low. Do not start off with what you cannot handle. Do it to a point. I'd say this. Do make the habit a point where it's easily achievable, but it's just challenging enough. Number 2, add habits on top of pre-existing habits. What I'm going to call daisy chaining. I got the term from Alex Hormozi. What I mean by that, pretty sure it just makes sense. So let's go over the example again. You need to take your supplements and you keep forgetting to take them. Just put them in front of you. If you go drink water in the morning, every single morning, go put that in front, like near where you drink water, and you'll most likely remember. Number 3, not trying to implement too many habits at one given time. So I would say stay in the range of 3 to 5. And if you're a beginner, just say 3. But I'd say 3 to 5 if you're a beginner, to be honest. 3 to 5 is just perfect. Figure out what that means for you. Do what you want with this information and have a blessed week. Before this video ends, I would like to say that I'm really not sure what I'm going to be doing moving forward with my channel, as I feel like the content I'm making is kind of saturated for me right now, and I feel like I'm not really doing what I feel like I could do the most of, which could be either writing or doing like podcasts where I could just continuously just pump. So I will let you know what I'm going to do moving forward, and if you enjoy, you can just keep following me along on this journey. And if this is helping you, maybe tell somebody, because that would make my day. Once again, number 2, do what you want with this information and have a blessed week.